Saints quarterback Derek Carr updates injury at church. Get him out of New Orleans now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Matt. Derek Carr took to the pulpit to talk about his injured shoulder. All right, so this is the moment. This is what Matt is dreamed about. I cannot wait to give him the opportunity here to get it out there. All right, this was a weird AF situation with Derek Carr at church, giving a sermon about his shoulder. This has just gotten to the point with Carr where I don't care. Like, just do what you want to do. Do what you're going to do. If you're going to play for the Saints, do it. If you're going to play for someone else, do it. I'm done with the reasoning and the excuses and the justifying and the whatever. Just do what you're going to do. You know, like, it actually kind of was jarring because we had the Shough news. We've been talking about that. We're talking about Rattler. We're breaking down all this stuff. And then there's this shadow, this overcast of, oh, yeah, there is still the Derek Carr situation. And it feels like everyone's on the bus. It feels like everybody is on the bus and we're ready to roll. Right? It feels like Kellen Moore, Brandon Staley, Tyler Shough, all the new draft picks. Feels like all the players, all the young players, they're on there. They're ready to roll. They're ready to go to the next chapter of the New Orleans Saints era or history. They're ready. I'm ready. I'm on top of the bus. They won't let me on. What's going on, guys? But Derek Carr is sitting in the bus station. And he's like, I'm not ready yet, guys. It's just the one guy that's kind of holding everything up. This like shadow. So we're going to go through this with Matthias, react along the way, sit back, get you a cup of coffee, or if you're off today, get you a damn Bloody Mary. Or even if you're at work today, get you a damn Bloody Mary.
One of the most interesting, relevant, tumultuous conversations in NFL circles here in the last month with Derek Carr's injury. I don't think I'm overstating that. You have a starting quarterback in the NFL who's a $150 million contract who now we learn has an injury that he hasn't been willing to talk about. The general manager keeps deflecting questions about. And then Derek Carr's brother decided to go on NFL Network and talk about. And still no one with the Saints will elaborate on it. Well, now Derek Carr has decided, okay, he'll speak on it. But
Matt is not wrong here. Like, this is not just a Saints thing. The Saints have quickly become the most like must-see, interesting, fun to cover team in the NFL. Not only do they have the youngest coaching staff in history, brand new, what's Kellen Moore going to do? Oh, now we have Tyler Shough, who is this like really unique prospect. Oh, we have Spencer Rattler. Oh, we have all this stuff going on. But we do have also a $150 million franchise quarterback who we have been talking about this since the Super Bowl of where is Derek Carr? What's going on? What's happening? What is he going to be on the team? Like, is he demanding a trade? Are we going to cut him? Are we going to release him? That's how long this has been going on. Throw in there the Rolls-Royce video. Throw in there David Carr going on NFL Network during the draft. That was draft coverage. Like that, don't let that get lost also. That is draft coverage. He's saying, yeah, Derek Carr wants to play. He's rehabbing. He's doing this. We don't have no clue what the injury is at this point, right? The Saints won't talk about it. They've been very hush-hush about the whole thing, which, of course, they are. And now Derek Carr's first time talking about this is at church.
He didn't do this in a sit-down with a member of the local media or the national media that he trusts. He didn't go on his Carr Review YouTube channel to talk about his injury. He saves that for his Rolls-Royce reviews.
They did do another video. I didn't watch it, but they did do another video. It was like a mock draft or a combine. It was some kind of other video where David and Derek are sitting there talking. So they did do another one on the Homegrown Network. Sounds like a YouTube channel for like tomato gardening or something, but
20 out of 10. Can't get
two heads, two faces.
Something.
Two faces.
Dork. No. The Right Reverend Derek Carr chose to talk about his injury in church. Yeah. No, for real.
It is crazy.
Bishop Carr was at a service in Las Vegas on Sunday.
I saw something in the comment section. I think it was on my Twitter, actually. But someone said, self-righteous Carr stones. Nice.
And the good Reverend, at that point, chose while he was on stage to discuss his injury. The church, by the way, is the ChurchLV. I can only imagine that's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's just the church. Just one.
The one.
This is Sin City, after all, right?
Apparently there's two of the churches. Apparently there's two of them.
Just one. One church.
And no ambiguity about where you need to go.
That would be ambiguity.
Yeah.
You can try again later. No worries. No.
Damn. Whew. That was brutal. That was hard to watch. I'm not going to lie. Someone get this guy a library card.
No worries. You want to go? Where am I going? We're going to
the church.
Going to the church.
We're going to the church.
Let's go to the church. Which one? The church.
The church.
The one.
The ChurchLV.
Of course. Anyway, here's Pope Derek Carr speaking. Is he up for the new Pope gig? Maybe?
He might be after this.
Let's hear it. The Right Reverend Derek Carr.
Yes, I have to say this. I hate that I have to say this, but I have to say this. Yes, I have a shoulder injury, despite what ESPN says, and what some lady on a podcast might think.
So I would assume that is Diana Rsini. I would assume who he's talking about there.
Okay, I have an MRI report to prove it. The team knows about it. We've been in constant communication. There's nothing wrong. We're figuring it out, and we're going to go forward with that. Is that okay?
Okay, so I've said this. There is not a doubt in my mind that Derek Carr has a banged up shoulder. He injured we know all this. That is not the question. The question isn't, does an MRI show that you have a hurt shoulder? The question is the severity of the injury. Are you out for the season? Are you getting surgery? What actually is wrong? What is the injury? Are you playing for the Saints? Like, none of that other stuff really matters at this point, which is, like I said at the beginning of the video, do what you are going to do. If you have a shoulder injury and that's the whole crux of this, get to the team doctors, figure it out, give us a timetable, let the team know, move forward. If you are not going to play for the Saints, all this is a moot point. And I said this, I think in the Rolls-Royce video. The Carrs have put themselves in a situation where they cannot win. They have backed themselves into a corner. A corner. There's something there. Because if Carr is hurt, and he proves everyone right or wrong, and he proves everyone wrong, and he actually is hurt, then, okay, he's out for the year. He doesn't want that. If he gets what he wants and is playing week 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or whoever, then it proves everyone right. Everyone who's been sitting here saying, like, it's not about the injury, it's not this, it's not that, like, he just doesn't want to play for the Saints, whatever, then everyone's saying, see? So now, this is digging the hole even deeper. Even deeper. Just do what you are going to do, Derek. Do what you're going to do, my man.
And I've been dealing with this, and I've been dealing with people lying about me. I've been dealing with them saying this and that. And I'm like, Lord, why do I have to continue to deal with this nonsense? Like, what is going on? And I say that to preface with, you never know what someone's really going through. And so why do we continually try to attack people? And I would say attack people that are trying to do things maybe the right way. Why do we continually try? Why do we always have to have an opinion? Why do we always? Twitter and Instagram has ruined things for some people, because now all these people think that they have voices that have to be heard. And so, like, some people's voices don't need to be heard right now.
This is all a bit ironic whenever it's like when someone with a microphone is saying like not everyone's voice needs to be heard. You know, it's like it's always weird whenever you're giving your opinion saying that other people shouldn't give their opinion. Like there is something there where it's like, well, I don't know about that. You know, like I don't know if saying that Diana Rsini shouldn't have an opinion is exactly what the good book is preaching.
I just gotta be honest with you. Because not one of our opinions in here matters. Did you know that?
But that is a very, like, that's what I'm saying. That's a very weird thing to say while you're giving your opinion. You know, like, you have the microphone. You are literally giving your opinion on a shoulder injury as an NFL player. I mean, I don't know if the whole congregation are NFL fans, but at this point, I would think a lot of people in this crowd are like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about an injury report? For what sport? What's going on here?
The only opinion that matters is that text right there. It is the Word of God. And everything must bow at that. And so
that is, again, talk about landing the plane. That is a wild ending of like, I have an MRI, my shoulder's injured, everything must bow to the Word of God. So wait a minute, hold on. How do we get from the shoulder injury to the injury report to the Word of God? That was very quick. You know, like I'm sure the big man upstairs has more important stuff going on than the injury reports. I hope so. Right? So it's just that was like 30 seconds, a 30-second segue between Diana Rsini, my shoulder's busted up, me and the Saints will figure it out. The good book is the only word that we need. What?
Hey, why don't you pick up that text and read about Job, jackass? Get some real problems.
That's another part, not about Job, but that is kind of another part of this, which is what we talked about during that Rolls Royce video. It's like, it's very hard for me to feel bad about this whole thing with Derek, like what he's saying in that sermon where he's like, people are lying about me. Why are they doing, Lord God, why are people on Twitter being mean to me? I said, brother, the Saints just guaranteed you $40 million. Like, you're playing football, you know, like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of really bad stuff happening out there. I don't know if this is that big of a deal. I don't think, at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal at all, right? Like, you're playing football, you made hundreds of millions of dollars, you just got a $30 million check from the New Orleans Saints on May 12th or whatever the day was. You know, that seems pretty cool. So it's very difficult for me to be like, damn, man, maybe he's right. Maybe all the MySpace posts are getting a little bit much.
You kidding me? Oh, I'm so sorry, Derek. Oh, I'm so sorry that someone was mean to you on Twitter about your shoulder injury. Meanwhile, you got a beautiful wife, a healthy family, abundant wealth, and you're mad that somebody is talking about you on Twitter? Like, what a pompous jackass. What a self-absorbed, lacking self-awareness, inauthentic dork. Like, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, this has pretty much been the theme of the Carr Bros, is that they're in anything that I've seen them, it seems like they're just so laser focused on them that they cannot see how bad it looks. And they can't see like the inauthenticity, and they can't see like how it's all coming across. And that has absolutely been pretty consistent with all of them throughout their entire careers. I mean, there are people, yes, he absolutely has a legion of fans. 100%. But there are a lot of people from the Raiders who've told me, This is exactly what we dealt with. This is exactly what we dealt with. Like, this is who he is. He gives you this facade. He gives you this character. He says these things. He wants to be this. He wants to be loved. He wants to be whatever. He's very thin-skinned. Like, they have said this is exactly what we have. So it's not like this is just new. You know, we've seen Darren and David Carr wilding out on Twitter.
Can't stand it even. Like, I want to pull it, like, look at the smug little, again. Watch this again. This, when he talks about the ESPN and then Diana Rsini, who says some lady on a podcast. Listen to this.
Yes, I have to say this.
Listen. I have to
hate
say
that
it.
I have to say this, but I have to say it. Yes, I have a shoulder injury, despite what ESPN says. And what some lady on a podcast might think.
But like this right here, do you see how it's backed him into a corner? Because now he's saying, I do have a shoulder injury, and it is as serious as I've been saying it. So now his options are prove that it's as serious as you've been saying and do not play. Or play and prove that it's not that serious. And so now he's like, well, damn, what do? I want to play. I don't want to give up a year of my career. I mean, if I don't play, I probably will never be a starter again. Or on the flip side, I don't want to look like a hypocrite. This is the classic digging the hole deeper. If he would have came out from the jump and said, I'm demanding a trade. I'm demanding a trade from the New Orleans Saints. Everything would be fine. People do that all the time. Athletes do that all the time. Come out, demand a trade, negotiate with the team, do what you got to do. But where we're at now, he is in a no-win situation.
I have an MRI
with some lady in a podcast.
I know I'm gonna have a lot of Carr fans in the comments on this one, and I want to know what are you rooting for? What do you want to happen? Because there's no way you want Carr to play for the Saints, right? So what do you want to happen? Do you want him to be out for the year and prove that he is telling the truth? Or do you want him to be a hypocrite and play for another team? What actually is the good ending to this story as a Carr fan? What do you want to happen? And if you say, well, I want him to play for another team, F the Saints, stick it to the fans, stick it to the organization, and you're kind of proving my point, right? So I'm very interested to hear what that side of the aisle, no pun intended, wants this story to end with.
In the worst, turn the music. I don't want to hear the music anymore. That's reserved for the right Reverend, not for just a simpleton like me who can't have an opinion, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God! First of all, Diana Rsini is a very credible reporter. She reported that in NFL circles, the thought is this is all about the way they leaked the story about his show. It wasn't that he didn't have an injury. It was that the way that he leaked and went about it was trade bait. That was her report, first of all. And he, Derek Carr, has said nothing to contradict that, by the way, or his brother, or his stupid Carr review videos, or any of that, or the Saints, or anybody who's done nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to remember, he says, social media is ruining this is ruining that, this is ruining this. And he's the one, he leaked the injury news. He started this party. It all kicked off because of his group leaking this news.
And when he sits there and starts talking about all the opinions on Twitter and Instagram ruining it for everybody, do you realize Derek Carr is criticizing in church, by the way? This is the most pompous part of this whole thing. He's standing there on stage at a church service using that platform to cloak himself in what he feels is the security and safety of the message and the mission, to use that opportunity to criticize Diana Rsini and people who are coming after him on social media.
That's a good point. Like, that is a great example of how he just kind of gets lost in, he thinks it's the right move, but he gets lost in, like, man, this is the worst way to do it, right? Like, putting this out on Twitter, fine, but taking the time during a sermon to turn the camera on you, first of all, is crazy. To be like, all right, listen, guys, I know we're in the middle of a service, we're talking about the Lord or whatever, but let me talk about my injury update. It's already insane. But then, to take that time to then say, oh, and also, F those people. Because basically what he's saying is that Diana Rsini don't know nothing. She shouldn't have an opinion. They shouldn't be yapping. No one should be saying nothing, which is a crazy message at church. Like, it's so hypocritical at the same time to be like in that congregation in that moment and saying that lady on the podcast shouldn't be saying nothing. She don't know nothing about nothing. That just seems like a weird time for that message. Whereas if he says on Twitter or puts out a YouTube video, like, the medium is there. He knows the medium is there. He's doing YouTube videos. Do it then. Put out a 30-second statement on your YouTube channel and just talk to the camera and say, hey, I'm dealing with a shoulder injury. Whatever, we're working out. It is what it is. We'll see what happens in time. That's it. But to say she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, she shouldn't have a voice, no one should have a voice, no one should have opinions, all those opinions suck, whatever. Like, again, he's backed himself into a corner. And he could make this so much better. There's so many better ways to have done this. And the excuses and the reasons, like, have you ever had a friend who it's like, instead of just saying, like, I don't want to do whatever, there's like 80 different reasons that validate his decision? Like, instead of just saying, like, nah, man, I don't want to come over to your house, it'll be like, oh, dude, I can't. I locked myself out of my house, and then my neighbor called me, and I had to go over to my neighbor's house and rescue them, and then I was walking back to my house to go to your house, but then all my tires on my car exploded, and then I tried to get, and like, it just keeps going. It's like, brother, you could have just said you didn't want to come to my house. Like, I didn't need the 200 reasons to validate whatever's going on. And that's where we feel like we're at with Carr, where it's like, I am injured, I have an MRI to prove it, and I couldn't get to New Orleans because this happened, and I couldn't talk to the team because this happened, and on this weekend I couldn't do this because I was busy, and then when the game ended, I hurt my hand and I couldn't throw, so I couldn't throw so that I couldn't tell my shoulder was hurt, and then I didn't know that the MRI on my shoulder was this because I was doing my hand. Like, it's just thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And that's where I'm at, where I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care what the justification is. I don't care about any of that stuff. Are you playing or not? What are you doing? Just tell me. One sentence. Are you going to play for the Saints? What is your injury? Let's just start there. Let's just start right there. What is your injury? That seemingly should be pretty easy to figure out. Again, guys, if he hurt it in the Giants game, that was, I mean, at this point, you're talking about like, what, 5 months? I mean, this is a long period of time for none of this information to be out there. We're talking about a very long process. And you're telling me that at no point in that process, the team could have been involved. He could have saw a team doctor. He could have been in the state of Louisiana. He could have tweeted. He could have done something. Now, you're telling me in all of that time, all of these things were happening that didn't allow for any of this, like, to be transparent?
That's what that is. That's him. That's Derek Carr clapping back to all the criticism about the way he's handled this, about the stupid Carr videos, and he's telling you.
Yeah.
He reads it all. He's telling you. Twitter, Instagram, it's ruined it for he's telling you he is aware of all of it because he just can't help himself. He needs people to like him.
Yeah, he desperately wants. Yeah, and we said that from day one. He wants to be Drew Brees. He wants to be loved. He wants to be a pillar in the community. He wants to be liked. He wants to be whatever. But it is the stereotypical case of he wants to be loved and he wants to be likable and he wants to do all this stuff, but he never ever acts. He never actually does stuff that would make him likable. You know, like he has yet to do anything that would allow someone to be like, yeah, I love this guy. This guy's awesome. This guy's sweet. Like, he's got the message all mixed up in his head. He sees the end. He sees, him on the city's shoulders being paraded around, but he just can't get there. And the Rolls-Royce video is a perfect example of that. Like, guys, I know it sounds like we're making a big deal about that. He is in the middle of a contract dispute. He is getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. He is the franchise quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. He has been completely absent from everything since January 1st. Didn't talk about Kellen Moore. Didn't talk about anything. We have not heard from him. We don't know what's going on. All these rumors come out, and then they release that Rolls-Royce video. The video was like 20 minutes long, which means it probably took them like 4 or 5 hours to do the video. They drove around the orchards in NorCal or whatever they were doing. They edited it. They did it took a whole thing. All right. Pushed it out on the YouTube day one. Like, that alone is the example of, like, brother, you can't have it both ways. You can't be whatever, this pompous jerk and then also want to be like the savior and where everyone loves you. That it doesn't match. Derek Carr, the way I see it, same with David, they are the guy who their actions do not match their words.
It doesn't matter that he's got a great job that pays him a lot of money and a family and all this sort of stuff. He needs people to like him.
Yeah.
He is that insecure of a person. That part of it's very sad. But the thing that kind of pisses me off, like what actually makes me angry, is that Derek Carr is criticizing a good reporter in Diana Rsini and criticizing the fans that care enough to warrant him having a job that pays him 9 figures. Let me say that again.
Yeah, this part right here is lost on everything. It is not Derek Carr versus the fans. The fans do not give the contracts. The fans do not do any of that. We're just fans. Like, this whole, like, Derek Carr versus the fans don't want him, whatever. We're forgetting about the elephant in the room. We're forgetting about the third person in this triple threat match. It's the New Orleans Saints, the actual team. Like, when we're talking about this, and I know guys, I get hundreds of comments on every video. I read a lot of them, reply to a lot of them. So I see a lot of the pushback. The pushback is, y'all don't want Carr to be your quarterback. Derek just wants to play. And it's like, we do. The Saints gave him $40 million a month ago. He is under contract. The Saints do want him to play. The Saints do want him to be the starter. They gave him a 4-year contract. He is on a team. It's not like he's banging on the practice facility being like, please let me play, please. The Saints want him to. He won't. The fans are not barricading him from being at the practice facility. Like, that's another part where, if you're the Saints, think about his teammates. Like, this is not just Carr versus the fans. This is not just, oh, the fans don't like Carr and the Carr doesn't like the fans, so it is what it is. What about all of his teammates? What about all those guys who are sitting there like, hey man, are you playing or not? You know, like, what about Mickey Loomis? What about the front office who just gave him that contract or, restructured and gave him his guaranteed money? They want him to play. And Matt's right. The fact that this has become Derek Carr versus the fans shows how thin-skinned he is. Because if it was Tom Brady or Kobe Bryant or any of those guys who, had that mentality, they'd be at work. And they'd be putting in the work and they'd be proving everybody wrong. It would not be this. It would not be this toxic shouting match, passive-aggressive, whatever it is. There is a third party in this, and that's the actual team with the actual contracts and the actual money and the actual teammates. And that is who Derek Carr, and he can't see this, that is who he's thumbing his nose at. It's not Diana Rsini. It's Alvin Kamara. It's Demario Davis. It's Cam Jordan. It's all the guys who stuck up for him in interview after interview after interview. It's Mickey Loomis. He's thumbing his nose at Mickey Loomis, who believed in him enough to give him $100-something million contract, give him guaranteed money, restructure his deal, do all this stuff. It's Kellen Moore. He's thumbing his nose at Kellen Moore. That's what he's doing.
To all of you who are driving home from your 9 to 5 today, paying for your kids' private school, trying to afford braces, whatever, car notes, groceries, inflation, the things that you and I and 99% of America and the world have to consider. This dude thinks that the people who invest themselves, their time, money, spirit, energy, attention, all of it into the NFL, which has grown that thing to where it is, so dudes like this can make $100 million guaranteed. He has the audacity to stand on stage at a church and say, some people don't really need to have an opinion. Man,
crazy.
Get out of here.
Damn, Matt, that was some insane vocal range there from Matthias. But he's 100% right. Like, look. This one right here, the Skonmeister and the face of the franchise, it's like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage and the Mega Powers reunite. I got to agree with him. 100% right. Like, that's what this is. And that is one, it's hard to be that self-centered and that pompous and that deluded to sit there and say their opinions don't matter. They need to shut their mouth. They shouldn't be talking. What a crazy message. What a crazy message in that situation.
Never come back. I don't have, like, if he flies into New Orleans, can we put like TSA on alert? Can we put NOPD, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, the state police, the National Guard? Can we put everybody on alert that if he ever flies into MSY again, y'all just block him off. Don't let him off the plane. I don't ever want to see this dude back in New Orleans again. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's your take on stage at church. Your take is some people don't need to have opinions. Oh, because the only opinion that matters, I say, Reverend Derek, is the good book.
The only opinion that matters is the good book, besides mine, says Derek.
Kick rocks. My God. Lord, why do I have to go through this?
Every time I hear it, it is crazy. Like, imagine Alex Smith, right? When Alex Smith got hurt, his leg is mangled. He might never walk again, could die, depending on how that stuff is going on. Imagine Alex Smith going through all of that. Like, that's a situation where it's like, Lord, why am I going through this? Like, what is going on here? Imagine, like, legitimate issues that players have gone through. Not even talking about, like, real life, but just where you've seen NFL players going through some stuff and you're like, damn, this guy's got it rough. Derek Carr is, he honestly is asking the Lord. He's in the desert, and he's asking the Lord, why do I have to go through this? And what he's going through are Mickey Loomis sucks 6969 on Twitter being mean pants and sending GIFs and memes. Matt, what a photo this is. That's what he's going through. And it's not even the injury. Like, Lord, why do I have to go through this? It's like, your shoulders, just kind of banged up, I guess. Like, it's not, not getting amputated here. Like that, again, like how is that message lost on him? How is that lost on him? That how bad this looks. How bad of a look it is.
Asking the Lord why you have to have people mad at you on Twitter? Or talking about you on Twitter? How about this? I got a great idea, Derek. This works in life. It doesn't matter if you're a football player, if you're just a man, a human being. Just be honest and transparent. 100%. If you've been dealing with the shoulder injury, why not just say it? Or have Mickey Loomis say it? Or the same.
Yeah. That is what's so crazy about this. We still don't know. We still don't know what the injury is. We still have no clue when the injury happened or what it is. David has now put the timeline as the Giants game. The timeline was previously the Packers game. The timeline was previously with the Raiders. It's been all over the place. We now kind of have the timeline, but we still don't know what it is. Is it a torn labrum? Is it a torn rotator cuff? What is it? What's wrong? No one knows. Has the team even seen him? We don't even know that. We do know. We know that the answer is no. But why? What's actually going on? Do you plan on playing for the New Orleans Saints or do you plan to play for someone else? I agree with Matt. This would have all been fixed if at the very beginning he was completely honest. If he was completely transparent. I heard a quote a long time ago when I was in college. A friend of mine, he said something to the effect of like, I never lie because, I think he was quoting Scarface, but he said, I never lie. The only people who lie are afraid. The only reason to lie is if you're afraid. If you're not afraid, no reason to lie. And I always think about that because it is true. When you lie, or when you're trying to cover up the truth or whatever, it's usually because you are afraid of whatever it is. And usually in life, it is better to just face whatever it is up front and just say what it is. If you mess up, apologize. If you believe in something, go with it. If you have a stance, stand firm. But yeah, this is just, it's gotten so toxic. It's gotten so gross. I'm so ready for this to be done. I'm so ready to be done with this. And I don't hate Derek. I just am done with this situation. It is the same as a toxic relationship. But at the end of it, they're screaming, you're screaming, they're right, you're wrong, you're right, they're wrong. It's just a he said, she said, it's all this stuff. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? Just cut it off. Separate.
Saints put out a release. Like, what's so secretive?
Yeah.
Okay, you jump for a first down like an idiot. You break your hand and you hurt your shoulder. We get it. You're an older quarterback now. We're good. Nobody wants you here anyway. Kind of a blessing. You're gone. Having MRIs, trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, and we'd all go about our lives.
Yeah, whatever.
But this has become a circus because of you.
100%.
He won't speak to the media. He does his stupid car review videos amid all of this.
Horrible look.
His brother goes on the NFL Network and speaks for him. Loomis gum-smacking Mickey in a press conference, refusing to answer questions about it. And then when he chooses to speak, it's on stage at church?
Yeah, again, it is insane when you put it all up against each other. Like, what is going on? And Loomis is in a horrible spot because if you're Mickey, this guy is your highest paid player. Like, he is the guy. When you're looking at that accounting sheet, he's the top dog. So he's like, well, damn, is he playing or is he not? He doesn't know, right? Like, Mickey has yet to see the guy. So Mickey's probably thinking, like, what actually am I going to do? And Mickey can't come out and say, Yep, Derek has a torn labrum, and he will be out for the remainder of the season. Because Mickey probably is thinking, like, do I got to trade this guy? Can I trade him? Can I just take 20 cents on the dollar and trade him for a third-round pick and be done with this whole thing? So he's not going to come out and blast him, right? So they're in a horrible spot, horrific spot to be in. So I'm not surprised at all that Lumis and Kellen have been pretty like mum about this, because they don't know. You know, if Derek, like, for example, let's say Mickey and Kellen say, yeah, Derek's out for the year. And then Derek shows up at Airline Drive and he's ready to roll. Then it's like, well, I guess not. So like they don't know. They can't even say anything. And like Matt said, this whole time there's no transparency. No one knows what the hell is going on here. We haven't heard a word from Derek Carr. Boom, Rolls-Royce Spectre review comes out. Wait, what the hell? Oh, and now David's talking. Oh, and now Derek's talking, but it's in this like passive-aggressive on stage at it. Just call WWL. Go sit down with WWL. Do an interview. Or just put out a tweet or put out a YouTube video. Do something else. Like there's all these mediums available. He's not taking any of them.
With the cloak of the Lord around you? So you can use that as some type of cover to clap back at your critics and insult some lady, Diana Rsini? How misogynistic and insulting is that some lady? Like Diana Rsini isn't one of the best in the world at what she does. Bro, this guy, I don't care. He could walk through that door and kick my ass today. I don't care. I don't care how much money he makes, what he does.
He ain't kicking my ass, I'll tell you that much.
It's about being fake, and that's what he is.
Look at the forearm.
He wants you to believe one thing about him, and his actions, his words dictate an entirely different thing. It's annoying, and I could probably get by without, like, the thing that triggered me was him going in on fans, people on Twitter who have some people don't need to have opinions. How freaking entitled are you to sit here and tell the people that watch the NFL, that watch your games on TV, that play fantasy football, that buy tickets to go to the stadiums, that buy jerseys and all that, like, the reason the NFL has grown is because we all consume it.
Yeah, I mean, and simultaneously, like, he wants people to love him, but if you don't love him, you don't deserve an opinion. And it's like, man, that's a horrible message. Horrible message. You know, that is just like you hate to say it because you don't really know. You know, I don't really know Derek Carr. All I see is what he puts out. But it just kind of shows his character when you're saying stuff like that and doing stuff like that. And it is just kind of like, it is just kind of shitty. You know, like, it is shitty that he's like some lady on a podcast. It is shitty where he's like, if you don't like me, you don't deserve an opinion. And then you like, take football out of it. You know, it's just kind of a low character way of handling this.
And the people that consume the product don't have a right to sit here and tell you if they like it or don't? Go to hell. Derek Carr. Ugh. I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that disagrees with me at this point. If you'll excuse the pun as we talk about the right Reverend Derek Carr at church, I'm probably preaching to the choir here. Bro, if that man ever takes another snap for the New Orleans Saints, can you imagine the chorus of boos that will rain down on him?
No.
Like, if they could do approval ratings in the NFL,
zero.
You just put that on Twitter. We're going to have a Derek Carr approval
It would be
rating.
zero.
Do you approve of Derek Carr, yes or no? That's it. Saints fans, do you go to the 1045 ESPN Twitter? Saints fans, do you approve of Derek Carr, yes or no? This will be his approval rating. How do you think this is going to go? He
0%.
ever puts a jock strap and a helmet on again in the dome for the Saints, he will be absolutely assaulted with booze, and justifiably so.
Yeah.
So, Reverend Derek. Man. Like when you think a dude has everything, you know what I mean? Like professional athlete, good-looking guy, beautiful family, like abundant wealth,
great golfer.
Like, why do I have to sit here? Like, why are we listening to Derek Carr like
pontificate,
clap back and take shots at people on Twitter?
Yeah.
Who cares, man? You're praying to the Lord. Lord, why do I have to endure? Why do you have to endure? That's the cross you're bearing. I'm sorry, Derek. This is the cross you're bearing in your life, is that people are mean to you on Twitter. Completely lacking perspective, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know we goof and gaff here, and I know, a lot of the times Matt and I are on different sides of the argument or whatever, but what a show that would be, a first take type show with me and Matt. But I agree with him on this one 100%. And it's just like Derek has made this so personal with the fans. And a lot of people are going to say, well, the fans did it first. Brother, you're talking about an NFL. It's the same. I use this example, the Malice in the Palace, when Ron Artest went in the stands and punched the fan. You could absolutely say, well, the fan threw a drink on him. It does not matter. The athlete has to be bigger than the fans. The athlete has to be bigger. You are being paid to do this. Like, to make this personal and to attack the fans and try and take away all this and call them out and but whatever. Go back on your word with your team and your teammates, and all while making hundreds of millions of dollars. It really is just like, I've never seen anything like it. I cannot think of another athlete who has done it at this level. Because even some of the ones like Carson Palmer, when he sat out his year, that was like him and the organization. Issues between him, contract, team, whatever. You always see that. Like, you always see it's like the player versus the team versus the front office. They sit out, they demand a trade, they draw the line in the sand, but you never really see it like where it's the player and the fans, the player and the social media. This is just a really weird situation. And I can't think of very many or any situations that are similar to this. And it's gotten so ugly and it's gotten so gross. And I really do think Derek has really messed up his image. You're always going to have the Carr apologists and the loyal Carr fans. But, for someone like me, who I came into this with an open mind. I mean, y'all can go back. I did hundreds of videos with Matt where he is blasting Carr. And I'm saying, you know what? Carr's playing okay. He is what he is. Like, let's just try and get through this, whatever. Like, I went into this with an open mind. I have done nothing but root for Derek when he has played for the Saints. I've defended him when he should have been defended. I call it like I see it. That is a part of this channel, is that 99.9% of the time, I will give you a reserved, analytical approach where we're really trying to look at the context, we're trying to look at everything, and we're breaking things down. Yeah, there are some times where I am a fan. I live in New Orleans. I walk to the games. So sometimes during a loss or during whatever, yeah, my fan hat is on. And I'm sick to death because of a loss, or I'm over hyped because of a win or whatever. It was like 2 years ago, we beat, I think it was the Bears game 2 years ago. We beat the Bears, and I remember we were middling. And I remember I went to Aaron Rose, and I was the happiest person I've ever been. I was on top of the world. But in reality, it's like, maybe, I don't know, I shouldn't have been feeling that much joy. You know what I mean? But even for someone like me, who is coming at this kind of just open mind. I think Derek Carr looks horrible through all this. Like, I think differently of Derek Carr because of how he has acted since the season ended. And, you know, I don't like the guy. I do not want him to be the quarterback of the Saints. If he is the quarterback of the Saints, I'll be absolutely shocked. But I'm just done with it. I don't like him. I think he's everything we said in this video. So he's done himself no favors. And Matt's right. Like, I don't know any Saints fans who have any patience left for Derek Carr. I really don't. I know a lot of people who were trying to defend him throughout the season, including me. But the way that he has gone about the last couple of months here, I mean, if he wasn't a football player and he wasn't a professional athlete and he was just someone I knew, I would be like, all right, I'm kind of going to distance myself from this guy. Like, this guy is just kind of, you know, I'm not really trying to get him in my inner circle here, which is the opposite of what Derek wants, which is, again, why he's missing the message. What he wants is the opposite of what he is garnering because of his own actions. It's insane. Good stuff from Matt, though. Good stuff. Kudos. He gets you know, the stamp of approval from the face of the franchise on this one. So, good stuff, Matt. Hopefully this is the last time we're talking about Carr. I mean, it's that easy. Hopefully this is the crescendo and we get some transparency. We can move on with our lives. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get on down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.